Got an hour 45-minute drive. Trying to turn. Make like a U of sorts. Alright. Bear with me, good fellows. I'm not sure if my map is gonna get captured in all of its glory, directing me to where I'm going. But if it is, if it's audible, I apologize. Alright, so I think this truck has a tire blowout. I saw a bunch of smoke. Alright. Well, I want to welcome you back to the podcast. Smoky. Welcome back. Driving. I was up snowboarding for like 4 days. Did 2 of the 4. That was fun. Yeah. So, overall, you know, I'm trying to work on lifestyle balance, and the best way I know how to do this is by forcing myself basically to do a bunch of extreme types of things. Now, I am not a daredevil type, and especially if I'm on a trip by myself, I'm ultra careful, like, I don't want to get injured or break a leg or hurt my back more to a point where I can't properly move right, and then, or drive or anything, and then have to deal with, talking to, having to deal with like a hospital and all that stuff. Like, I don't even know how, that just sounds like it would be an extra expense to do like an emergency room, and then have to deal with like ambulance charges and all, like that kind of stuff is not free. I mean, I do have healthcare insurance coverage, but I mean, it doesn't cover every single thing. And of course, I live in Southern California, so I'm not going to deduct a whole lot of stuff. I keep it careful. I keep it safe. But one thing that contributes to, helping me to get things on a better track is just that, forcing myself, to do something that's fun, that like I'm motivated enough to do it, but then while I'm doing it, I'm going to be pushing. So, I forced myself to go out of town, get a hotel, worked from the hotel one day. So I got in one night, worked from the hotel that next night, got into Tuesday night after work. I left from home, came to the hotel, got there like Tuesday, 7:30ish p.m., checked in, woke up the next day, worked 8 to 4. Actually, I worked 8 to 6:30. And that was Wednesday. I was off for Cesar Chavez Thursday. Went up snowboarding. Took off also Friday, Saturday. We're off anyways. I had, I have a season pass, so I could have technically just gone up. That's why it wasn't like a big deal. The hotel's like 25 minutes from the resort, so I was like, just stay and then, just drive up when I feel up to it. But on Thursday, my back was hurting so badly, and it felt fine by Friday, but it was scary because the last time this had happened when I came up, I was kind of out of commission for like maybe 4 or 5 days because of the pain. So I was like, well, let me just take it easy, because Thursday it was hurting bad. And then Friday, it felt fine, but I am glad now, in retrospect, of the decision that I took it easy, even though I was kind of beating myself up about it. But in retrospect, I'm glad that I did take it easy. So I relaxed, as much as I could. Friday, Saturday, initially Saturday, I had planned to go up. And then that's the day that I was like, man, like, am I really like practicing self-care, or am I really just like back on my track of like, low motivation and not following through? It was kind of hard to really tell the actual difference there in my mind, and because I was struggling with it internally, it was kind of like getting to me all Saturday, and I was kind of upset with myself on Saturday about it. And then, kind of came to some realizations and was able to study some things and got pretty far in like, as far as like learning different important, helpful topics on Saturday. And so I was like, let me just take this day, get the rest, because I needed the relaxation. Got the rest, took the break. And then, by the end of Saturday, I felt fine with my decision. And then by Sunday, I felt, I can go up, because it was the last day. So I went up yesterday. At least I thought the season was going to end yesterday. It turns out they're still open, but whatever. I'm not going up today. I could, but I don't want to wear myself down. I'll probably do bare next Saturday, Sunday. But yeah, I was kind of able to think through some social related topics, and I feel like I got kind of far with kind of where I want to be with some of these things that, I've been kind of trying to improve on in my social life. So, all right. So, it was helpful. I did what I could. I feel like things are on track. I'm waking up feeling rested. I started taking the Hemp Plus, but it is a little grogginess in the morning, but because I haven't been like at work for like 4 or 5 days or so, it's not too big of a deal. And I'm trying to have my coffee first thing in the morning, and listening to the DOF, so that kind of helps, even though I find it a little, honestly, dull and boring, and it's not too relevant to me. It's talking about marriages and divorces of like sisters and different groups of sisters marrying different groups of another family of brothers, and like who can divorce who, or who can get married to who, and who's okay to marry who, like all these different dynamics. And I'm like, this doesn't necessarily apply to me, especially because I am not, of that religion. And I mean, you know, haven't really intended on having a lot of hetero-cis relationship dynamics romantically in a very long length of time. It's not really something that I strive towards, I guess I would say. So that is its own thing. So yeah, I mean, like I've said, you know, before, I like the shift into something that's like more positive minded. Like, I know the whole purpose of those types of topics and literature is to lead people to live a life in a way that has some structure and balance, instead of just everybody just do whatever you want, and then not knowing that there's some kind of not noticing that there's some kind of patterns, not noticing that there's like some kind of patterns surrounding like why they're doing it, and why it's not really helpful to do things in a certain way. Now, I'm trying to get around this loud truck. It's got this long truck bed, and it's like banging on every single bump. But anyways, I find value in people trying to talk about dynamics that might not work in life and why, and comparing those to dynamics that might work. Like, when it comes to organized religion, and like, I'm not knocking it. When it comes to organized religion, I'm just mostly cautious about if it's from a space of control and, you know, someone trying to, you know, wield their power and act in control. Is that why, you know, is it like an ego space of like, I want to be controlling, so everyone has to follow these rules to the strict way? Like, some people really believe in strict self-deprivation. Some people are more likely to like just kind of do what feels good in the moment. Those are kind of like two extremes. So I kind of get it, but I do find value in listening to things that are not from beliefs that I grew up with, and just kind of delving into them, learning about them, seeing if some of it resonates with me, if there's something there that I can maybe apply that would make my life more kind of balanced, because that's what I'm working on, is the balance aspect of things. So that's kind of my purpose in listening to a lot of religious types of materials, and especially because in Judaism there is a lot of study, there's a lot of like in-depth tradition, there's a lot of different viewpoints, from like very conservative to very just like open-minded, more relaxed approaches. And that appeals to me, that it's like a lot of people in the religion can still, you know, read and study the same material and get like different benefit in life from it. And so I'm not, you know, I study other things too, not just like Judaism, but Judaism is something that I would say I have more of a base in, because of how I was raised around certain types of Jewish traditions and things like this. And so I'm not coming in cold. It's not like I'm reading like you know, Hindu literature or Buddhist literature. Like, that would be more, that would be more of something that I wasn't really maybe too familiar with. Now I do listen to Osho. I listen to Sadhguru. I listen to a lot of different people. And I'm not, ever going to tell people you need to believe this or you need to believe that. Like, a lot of it, I'm talking about my own personal life and what I've found to be balancing. And sometimes I recommend, people to read the same types of materials just to see what, if anything, resonates with you. I mean, I'm a strong believer that you can take and pull from different cultures and find value in things that they do, but maybe not everything that they do is gonna be something that your heart connects to, or maybe it won't always be something that you are gonna understand or want to do or want to be a part of. For myself, there's all these trucks, oh my goodness. For myself in my personal life, I do find it a little bit triggering, to be honest. It can be a little bit triggering, to be honest, to, hear a lot of religious types of strict religious beliefs. Because I was raised around people that were very, strict, and it created a lot of kind of toxic aspects to the environment. Now, some of it was helpful. There was a lot that was balance related, but then, there was the other side that always led to this judgment of the people who don't do the strict version. Or, that there was a hierarchy almost culturally of the people who did the strict stuff being considered better, or getting more prestigious roles, or getting more volunteer opportunities, and getting more recognition. And people kind of didn't make assumptions about them. If you were raised in the denomination and your parents were in the denomination and you went to the schools and you were involved in all the church stuff, and you followed all the strict rules, you were considered you're good, a good role model, a good example. People would treat you differently than the ones who maybe went to the public schools, or maybe it's just the teenager went to church and the parents never were even involved in the religion or anything. So that created, that later on I was kind of I don't want to be any part of that kind of community of people that is that way, because I found more benefit from being around people that didn't really treat each other that way. So I did see that there were some benefits to the religious side, and then I found some benefits to the non-religious side. But I've seen on both ends, you can be so religious to the point that there's no humility, there's no, patience, there's a lot of judgment, and just getting off the path on that side, or on the other side of just being so outside of any kind of strict values and structure that it's just the life gets way out of balance. So there are extremes on any end, and I've gone any which way of directions I've been involved in. And so lately I've really been trying to kind of come back slowly over years and find kind of what works for me more. And when I do take breaks like this from work, I do try to find things that I've been wanting to study and wanting to delve into, and it's kind of part of my own personal practice a little bit, just to try new routines. So that's basically just what I've been doing. Why I've been consuming a lot of material about these things is because it's just what I'm studying at the moment. I don't know how long I'm going to study it for. I just go with, mainly I go with my motivation. If I'm motivated towards it and I'm enjoying myself, I'll keep it up. And if I stop getting motivated towards it, or if I find like, I don't really want to, like, it's kind of annoying now, I don't really want to do this anymore, then I'll just kind of stop. So I'm not, too concerned about that. But yeah, that's kind of the tidbit I have right now as far as learning, kind of like, having some kind of like a learning schedule or some kind of like technique for like learning new material to kind of incorporate into lifestyle balance, because I find sometimes I'm more motivated when I learn something new versus like trying all the old stuff and then just like, okay, like this is like old stuff and let me go back to my other routine. Like sometimes I just need to be snapped out of my comfort environment and get into a new place and get into a new mindset. And even with the struggle and the anxiety of it and just being like anxious about maybe, going to the mountains for some reasons, getting anxious, or, I mean, I know what reasons, but I'm not really going to share them right now. But, and then like having other concerns along the path, like I feel like I'm kind of more or less like more motivated when I have new material to kind of incorporate or to say yay or nay to be like, like this is something that I don't really want to be a part of, or this is something I do really want to be a part of. But for now, that's kind of all I really have to say on those topics. I'm recording some tidbits as I'm driving, so like I said, I've got about an hour and 45 minutes to drive, so I've got short topics that I'm just gonna pump out. Again, apologies with the background noise, with the background of the car and being on the road, on the freeway, driving down the 210 right now. Alright, well, that's it for now, and thanks for listening to this tidbits.